Rosemarie.
Thank you. We don't always get to choose the circumstance we face, but we do get to choose how we respond to that circumstance. I'd like you to raise your hand if you've ever felt overwhelmed by life.
Yes.
Been treated unfairly. Or faced an unpleasant circumstance.
Oh, sure.
I know my hand goes up for all three. Some days I'm done. Just done, honestly. I can write a list of all the stuff that I've been through to get to this point in my life. I suspect that each one of you can produce a list of your own. Personal struggles, economic challenges, ignorant people, just stuff that we would rather not contend with. I get that. I know that some of you will listen to what I have to say today. I know that some of you won't. That's not a circumstance that I picked, but I've already made the choice to get up here and do the best job that I can. Now, will that change you in any way? I can't say. For now, let's just talk about three things that I found to be very relevant in the speeches that I selected. Circumstance, choice, and change. Our story begins with three extraordinary men facing three extraordinary circumstances. In 1939, Lou Gehrig, New York Yankee player, he's a legend, faced a circumstance called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS. This book, Anatomica, the complete home medical reference, describes that as a disorder that is debilitating, paralyzing, your muscles weaken, they waste away, but your mind is still intact. So there was his circumstance. In 1993, Jim Valvano, North Carolina State college basketball player, faced a circumstance where he had cancer that riddled his body with tumors, completely riddled every corner of his body. But he held out hope that someone would find a cure before he died. In 2001, Jack Buck Sr., he's a legendary St. Louis Cardinals commentator, faced the circumstance of having to heal the wounds of a nation and the spirit because of the attacks that came on 9/11. Three men, three circumstances. Each one had the option to use their circumstance as a reason to hate, a means to manipulate, a reason to feel bad, a reason to blame someone for their pain and sorrow. Of course, they'd be entitled to be angry, right? Who wouldn't be? We're all just human. But here's where the story gets interesting. Those men didn't ask for that circumstance, but the choices that they made is what's important. Three men, three choices. On July 4th, 1939, Lou Gehrig went public with his illness. In a packed Yankee Stadium, he gave a speech filled with admiration and honor to his family, his fans, and his friends. It was an incredible player. It was a great speech, but the thing that is most remembered is the words that he used in the opening of the speech. I consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth. He chose bravery over bitterness. On January 11th, 1993, Sports Illustrated published an article called As Time Runs Out, in honor of Jim Valvano's struggle and accomplishment with the cancer that he was still living with. 2 months later, Jim Valvano was awarded the Arthur Ashe Courage and Humanitarian Award. At his acceptance speech, everyone in the crowd was left in tears as he spoke his final words. Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind. It cannot touch my heart. It cannot touch my soul. And those three things will carry on forever. He chose courage over catastrophe. On September 11, 2001, this nation faced terrorists from across the globe. 6 days later, Jack Buck Sr. faced a crowd of baseball fans, firefighters, and police officers. And the question was, should we be playing baseball this soon, 6 days after the terrorist attack? Some questioned if it was too soon. He answered his critics loud and clear as the crowd erupted by chanting, USA, USA, USA. He chose freedom over fear. So, how does circumstance and choice lead to change? I'm glad you asked. Lou Gehrig chose bravery over bitterness. This changed his perspective on life. Instead of making easy money and doing speeches, which he could have done because he was retired now, he decided that he wanted to serve as the New York City Parole Commissioner. His mission was now to change the lives of other people. He's dying, he knows it, I'm going to go out and make a change, and I made that choice. He was an inspiration until he died. He chose bravery over being bitter. Jim Valvano chose courage over catastrophe. His speech changed the lives of everyone who heard it that night, and it continues to be one of the top motivational speeches chosen by college coaches anywhere. It changed the lives of everyone who heard it that night. It changes the lives of the coaches who speak it, the players who hear it, and the people who believe it. Jack Buck Sr. chose freedom over fear. His patriotic speech was actually a poem he had written by himself. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch published the poem in its entirety 2 days later after he had given the speech at Busch Stadium. The man was 77 years old. He was suffering from Parkinson's disease. Yet he changed the resolve of a nation with 20 lines of sincerity and true American grit. Does the story end here? I don't think so. Every day that you and I get up, we face the same unknown circumstances that those three men faced. But here's the thing, we're made from the same fabric of life. We're forged from the same fires of time. The only thing that might be different is our response. Will we be brave or bitter? Will we choose courage or catastrophe? Will we fight for freedom or retreat in fear? I have one last time. You are relevant. When I look at each one of you, I see bravery, courage, and freedom. You are relevant. And the things that you deal with every day are relevant as well. Circumstance, choice, and change. There you go.